Hello friends, Miss Sarah here from Kindred Memorial Library, 301 West Tate in Brownville, Texas. If you need to contact us, our number is 806-637-3848. Welcome to our first virtual summer reading session. Because of COVID-19, we are doing things a little different. We will not be having in-person programs, only virtually. That means I will read our story and demonstrate our crafts. Then everything will be posted on YouTube. So come in and pick up your registration packets. And in that package you will get a sticker and a bookmark for your children. Of course, the registration slip that needs to be returned to the library, and also the most important thing of all is the log sheet. The log sheet is where your children will record the books they are reading. But on this sheet, I would like the parents to put their full name, their child's name, and of course their phone number, or your phone number, okay, so that we'll know who this information belongs to. Rules have changed this year, and parents will have to decide on 10 easy books or 3 chapter books. But remember, you can read and record those books that you do have at home on your log sheet. After you've logged your reading information, bring the log sheet to the library for a prize from our treasure chest. That can be anything from a toy to a coupon from one of our local vendors in town. This year's theme is Imagine Your Story, and this week's subject is about fairies. There are many different types of fairies, and if we'll zoom into the board behind me, I just want to show you a few of the different fairies. Some are called dwarfs, elves, gnomes, goblins, leprechauns, orcs, sprite, troll, pixie, tooth fairy, prince or princess fairy. And this week, I would like to focus and read to you about a garden fairy. One last thing about the craft packets. These will be available for pickup at the library on Wednesday. You will receive some supplies and of course easy to follow instructions. And parents, please do take photos of your children participating in either listening to or trying to read the story or while they're crafting, having family time. Good luck and read forever. This week's story is Pinkalicious and the Flower Fairy by Victoria Can. I want a flower fairy to visit my garden, I said to my brother Peter. I want a worm to visit my garden, Peter said. Yuck, I said. I sprinkled seeds over our gardens. Flower fairies love pink flowers, I said. Worms love mud, Peter said. I raked and watered my garden. Vroom, Peter yelled. I worked hard on my garden. After 2 weeks, my seeds sprouted. There were little leaves, but no flowers. The next day it rained and rained. It rained for weeks. When the sun finally came out, I ran outside to see my garden. Now all my plants will bloom. There was a lot of green, but where was all the pink, I wondered. Zoom, Peter said. He drove his truck through his garden. He made roads with his shovel, calling all worms, he said. Take a ride on my racetrack. I had an idea. I needed to show my flowers how to grow. I made tissue paper flowers and put them in my garden. Calling all flowers, I said, bloom like these paper flowers. I waited all day, but nothing happened. How would I ever see a flower fairy without any real flowers? I was too sad to garden. The next day, Peter yelled, guess what I saw? Hint it was pink. A worm, I groaned. No, Peter said, a flower fairy. No, you didn't. Did you? I gasped. A pink flower fairy. Why didn't she visit me? I said. My garden is better, Peter said proudly. I looked at his garden and looked at mine. Peter was right. I had to do something. I'm going to pinkify my garden, I told Peter. Then the fairy will want to visit me. Molly came over to help. We strung sparkly pink lights and shiny pink streamers. We added a pink parasol and set out pink fairy cakes. My garden was a pink wonderland. I put on music and Molly and I danced like fairies. It was very loud, very fun, and very pink. Still the fairy didn't come. All we saw was a wiggly pink worm. My mom looked out the door. "It's time to clean up," she said. We began packing our pink belongings. Soon my garden was plain again. It was time for Molly to go home. "We didn't see a fairy," I said. Molly gave me a big hug. "Don't be sad," she said. I sat down in the grass. A big weed tickled my foot. I pulled it out. Behind it was a pink flower. I pulled out more weeds. I couldn't believe it. My garden was beautiful. There were flowers hidden among the weeds all along. I smelled a fragrant pink flower. "Hello," said a little voice. I was nose to nose with the fairy. She was pink and shimmery. She had flower petal wings. "I'm very glad you cleaned up your garden," she said. "Now I have room to fly." "Your garden is pink perfection," said the fairy. "There's just one thing that will make it better." I knew exactly what that was. "Fairy magic," I cheered. The fairy fluttered her wings. Sparkles rained down. More flowers grew and bloomed, making a beautiful arch. "Wow," Peter and I said. It was flower-tastic. So what do y'all think? When things are just not going the way you want them to go, don't be sad. Stay positive. Keep doing the right thing, and you might get a surprise.